Morning, welcome in this online session of the standard 8 SS, and today's chapter, which we started yesterday or in the previous lecture, is now going to start by me in the part 2. Now in the part 1 we discussed about the chapter in which we also studied about the different layer of the earth. Also I made you understand the basic introduction about the hydrosphere and the sphere, which we discussed in the earlier part of this chapter number 2 SS, what is around us. So when we are asking what is around us, there is a question mark. That question mark actually makes us to think, and also it makes us to believe that whatever we know is incomplete and we need to know more. Means it actually allows us to go on the next level. So if we talk about today's lecture, which is depending upon what is around us, lesson number 2 of SS, and in this chapter you will also learn that what kind of spheres are there, in which matter theory they work out, and what is their need, what is their actually importance in the earth or over the earth, or we can say that in the life existency also. If the life is existing, then why and these kinds of layers are responsible, what is the reason for this? Let's today talk about, but before we will talk about the hydrosphere, atmosphere, I'll take a recap, a basic recap on the lecture of the previous theories. So in the last previous lecture I discussed about the earth is made up of which kind of components, how earth formed, and also in which class group category we can say that life became sustainable on the earth. Also we moved on that which kind of questions were asked by Dhanvin in the lesson, who is asking to the mother. So as I have said you, generally it is believed that earth is a part of sun, a detached part of sun. Obviously if you can focus on the earth's surface, interior, exterior, you'll find there are lots of changes in the temperature. If you go internally to the earth, you'll find very hot temperature like more than 6,000. And if you go above the surface of the earth, you'll find that the temperature is decreasing, but the oxygen is also decreasing. If you'll stay on the earth, zone wise, it will differ the temperature to here. It means that earth is actually a detached part of the sun. Now if you move further, as I have also made you understand about the lithosphere in my previous lecture. So lithosphere, Lithosphere. Now what is lithosphere? I said you in my previous lecture that lithosphere is the sphere which is also related with the rock layer. Litho means the rock and sphere means the layer. It also known as the lithosphere. Now if I would say that lithosphere is the only sphere which is actually sustainable for the human development, maximum, not 100%, but maximum, then also my theory and my verbal explanation will be very much right to the concept, because lithosphere is the only sphere where we make our house, we make our buildings, we make our schools, we have the playgrounds, we build up the farming business also, and many more things. The forest is on the lithosphere, almost most of the things are on the lithosphere, but compared to the quantity, if I talk about the quantity, hydrosphere is more than compared with the lithosphere. So today we'll start the basic information and the basic lecture related to the hydrosphere. Now my dear students, let's understand what is hydrosphere. As I have written here, liquid component of the earth. What is hydrosphere? It's the liquid component of the earth. It means that it consists the hydrosphere maximum amount of the liquid components. Means we can say that the surface of the earth is covered up maximum about the hydrosphere. So a water body in the hydrosphere, if we talk about a water body in the hydrosphere that carry a huge amount of the water, like 71%, you should remember that here, it is like 71% of the earth's surface. Let's write out here, that is 71% of the earth's surface is also related with the hydrosphere, my dear students. So that is actually the hydrosphere. And if you go more further, the other hydrosphere body that carries ocean, seas, or gangs of water, or we can say that like a river, stream, lake, well, dam, check dams, many more things are there, are also related in the componental body about the hydrosphere. So all these oceans are also somehow giving a big contribution towards the hydrosphere, where we can say hydrosphere is the sphere which is consisting water along with the oxygen too in it. So the water bodies close to each other, if you talk about, there are like water bodies close to each other, connecting each other. Okay, these oceans are also somehow can be said as the hydrosphere. So all these oceans connected with each other. If we talk about the oceans like Arctic Ocean, okay, Arctic Ocean, or many more oceans are there, they all connected with each other somehow. All these oceans are connected, interconnected, or indirectly connected with each other, and the water bodies close to the land are also known as the seas and the part of the hydrosphere. So what are the hydrosphere very much needed for? Hydrosphere is needing for the fishery, hydrosphere is needing for the water development, hydro energy, or we can say hydroelectricity, as if you know that. Then if you go more further, it is also related not only with the hydroelectricity and hydro energy, it is also related with the other aquatic development. Means that's also a part of our ecosystem. So if you go deep through with the hydrosphere information, my dear student, we need to understand that okay, the ocean bed similar features like we can say water surface, or we can say seabed, or river surfaces, many more things are also one of the we can say the components of the hydrosphere. So the ocean bed has similar features that's like of the surface of the earth, and it has same height as mountains, if you can understand, plateaus and the vast plain valleys, etc. So hydrosphere can be having a different level from the bottom of the ground to the upper layer, and it can be in the different kinds of, we can say that like status also. For example, some of the oceans of our world, of our earth, is like frozen. Seas are there, oceans are there, oceans are not there, but most of the, we can say that some of the part of that are frozen. So they are actually, we can say they're like solid shape of the hydrosphere, while some are liquid in the shape. So we need to understand that these all the spheres are related with the hydrosphere, or these all the different components of the earth related to liquid component are also relating with the hydrosphere. So if we go more further, again Dhanvir is asking, Mummy, how much, okay, he's asking about that, Mummy, how much will there be the seas inside on the earth, we can say that. Then since sea's water is salty, it is useful to us or not? There is a question, are we able to drink the sea water? Are we able to drink? And the answer will be somehow no, because it is salty. Yes, but due to some kinds of procedure, or we can say that due to some kinds of experimental development, we can use that. But we need to go on a very advanced level, my dear students. So seawater is very salty and we are unable to drink that. If you drink also, you will have serious injuries to your internal organs, or you can be having some kinds of problem too here, which can be leading to the death here. So that's also one of the things we can say that. And the mom is saying, yes, ocean contains around 97%. If you talk about ocean consists of 97% total surface of the water on the earth, and approximately 1/3 of the remaining water is only the water which can be somehow used out for the drinking water. So that's also somehow we can say that used out. But if you talk about 1/3 of the water which is available somehow like the drinking, they are trapped inside the ice caps. So they are not furthermore used without melting them. So that's how we can say that it is also trapped inside the ice caps, the glaciers at poles of Himalayas, if we talk about, and many more other things also, like we can say the frozen land or the frozen zones which are available here and there. So these all are related with that here. And also we can say that other mountains are also responsible for this kinds of liquid shapes turning into the, or liquid water turning into the ice caps here. So if you move further, we need to understand that ice can be in the two forms. Either it can be in the liquid form or it can be in the solid form. But after melting, it will only become into the liquid form. So that's the basic component, or we can say that's the basic features of the ice and the water too. So let's move further here, my dear students. Some water is accumulated, if I talk about, some water accumulated in the lakes also, and some are also accumulated in the rivers. Accumulation means they are available. Now you have seen the rivers are flowing, okay, waves are just moving by making some sound. So what is that actually? That is also defining that river water and the lake water are also one of the part of our hydrosphere. So hydrosphere can be in the different we can say shape structure of the natural in the natural agent like bodies available. It may be in the ocean bodies, it may be in the sea bodies, well, pond, stream, river, as I have said you earlier. So this is all about the hydrosphere. So if you go more further in this lecture, it also stored internal in the part of the earth too. Here you might have seen the bore wells. You know, in the bore wells also the water is coming. From where the water is coming actually? From where does this water exist? It is actually existing under the land, we can say, which is also known as underground water. All right, here underground water. So we need to, if we are needing in very much amount, if we are in need of very much amount, we can import that thing, and if we don't need that, then we can use our general water which are available over the surface of the earth or on the top of the level of the earth here. So we need to understand there are amount of potable water fetching fisheries, ponds and rivers and sea, not the sea but the well are there where you can get the potable drinking water. Now what is potable drinking water? The drinking water which is also known as sweet water, which you use at your home, I use at my home, which is also part of hydrosphere into the liquid component, is also known as social potable drinking water. So we need to understand that fresh water availability is also on the earth, and if you go more further, these waters are also helping to the farming purpose, for the industrial purpose, for the uses of the household purpose, drinking purpose, and many other purposes too here. So that's also one of the basic component part of the hydrosphere. Means I'm talking about the fresh water. The freshwater containers, natural containers, are also one of the hydrosphere body part. So we can say for the water, water is very precious, if you know that, and if you talk about the fresh water, it is far more precious. We need to save water. If I'm talking about the hydrosphere, about the liquid components, so we need to save the water too, because without the water, life is not possible on the earth, my dear students. So if you go more further to the hydrosphere, hydrosphere is not only related with the human beings, they also related with the plant, trees, animals, and also to the water cycle. If we get rain, that rainwater is actually carried out from all the gangs of water. It can be from the sea, ocean, river, pond, fisheries, and many more other part of the department of the hydrosphere. Then we can get the rain too. So if you go more further, we can say the moisture of the rainwater. Let's talk about the moisture, which is in the main source of the fresh water, is also somehow one of the thing which is coming from the ocean only. Means if you generally get the rain, like the thunderstorm is there, and then you get the rain, then you generally get the rain. If you are getting the rain also, it is also coming from the ocean beds only. Means the water which is evaporated, remaining the salt behind, and it is carried out into the small molecules into the clouds. They break after falling the electrons, and it forms like the water cycle. Means it is giving into the fresh water also, somehow in the structure of fresh water. So we use that water inside our farm, inside our check dams, or we can say water harvesting management also, using different purpose. So that is also one of the basic thing which we need to understand about the water cycle, hydrosphere, rain, and other fresh water too here. Now let's talk about the chemical. Now if you talk about valuable chemicals, if you talk about minerals, salt, fishes, etc., are also related with the sphere. Means we can say that etc. are found in the seas. Means minerals, salt, fish, other aquatic animals, aquatic plant, tree, not trees but the plants are there, are also available from the sea beds or we can say from the seas and all. So this is also one of the part of hydrosphere, and therefore we can say organisms on other side, if we talk about on the land and in the water. Same way, the oceans are also having the organisms and the aquatic animals, aquatic life inside their own. So as you see animals in the forest, as you see other like aquatic birds in the nature and the atmosphere and environment and all. So same way we can say that ki hydrosphere also consists of a different life underneath of the ocean bed or the seas also. So we can say tremendous force of waves are generated, tides are there, ebbs are there, which also generates the oceanic current, which is also helpful for the sailing purpose, for the visiting the other countries purpose, other continents too here, for the water routes. And if you go more further, they're also furthermore used for the electricity purpose. So hydrosphere, which I'm trying to explain you, and I also made here the rainwater, is not only related with the drinking, eating, drinking and related with the life existence only, it is also related with the energy development. So that is also known as the hydrosphere. So we can say besides this oceans are also used for the waterways. It can be national or it can be international waterways too. So my dear students, this is all about the hydrosphere, and if we will go to the atmosphere, then I would like to make you understand about the atmosphere also. So as I was telling you, the atmosphere also is one of the basic, we can say that, sphere of the earth, which is very essential, important and needed, my dear students. So let's talk about the atmosphere. The sphere of the earth means we can say that the air sphere, which is comprised of 78% of the nitrogen, as you know that basically, which is wrapping all the sounds of the all the round of the earth, is also known as the atmosphere. As I have written here, that air, now see here, this is the air that wraps the earth from all the sides, okay, and it is extending up to 1600 kms, kilometers, okay. So if you talk about the surface of the earth, which cannot seen clearly with our naked eye, is also known as the atmosphere. Now in this atmospheric cycle, we can say that we cannot see this atmosphere because it is related with the lithosphere, it is related with the hydrosphere, and somehow we can say atmosphere is comprised of various gases, okay. So when it is comprised with the various gases, water vapor is also there, humidity is also in that. Here we can say dust particles also there. See my dear student, if you can see me and I can see you in the live, now see, actually I'm teaching you on the virtual lecture, but if I'm coming at your home, you can see me, I can see you. Why we can see each other? Most of the students and other people will give the wrong answer, that due to light fall we can see us. Yes, it is right, light is reflecting from my face and body towards your retina, okay, but actually there is one more thing which is responsible to make figure in you or in your own imagination. That is what is actually we need to discuss here, is the dust particle. See my dear students, if the dust particle is not there, light cannot travel successfully. So we need the dust particles too, which is also somehow displayed or explained in the way of Tyndall effect. Now what is Tyndall effect? Let me define you. When you are wishing to go on the highway at the night time, you can see the beam of the light of vehicle is falling on the road with the circular motion of the dust inside that. That is known as the Tyndall effect. We'll discuss in the other lecture, but right now we're discussing about the atmosphere. So as I have said you, this is a generally dust particles, smoke, salt, then somehow we can say that microorganisms and many more things are there, etc related with the atmosphere. Now atmosphere is colorless, it is odorless, okay, it is tasteless, we can say it is having no any shape, it is transparent, and somehow we can say it is not having, it is transparent and not in the liquid shape, in the solid shape, or in the other gases element shape. It is actually comprises of all the gases and the other dust particles too, which is including whole structure of the atmosphere. So if you go in the detail, it consists approximately 78% of the nitrogen, as I have said you. And apart from that 78% of nitrogen, oxygen is also there, my dear students. So we can say 20.99% of the oxygen and other gases are responsible actually to form the this whole sphere of the atmosphere, and which is very important. So dear students, we'll study the basic details and information about the atmosphere in some other lecture. This lecture was till here only, and you should revise your this all the subjective material at your home, and we'll see in the part number 3rd. This is part number 2. So till then you can revise yourself, and we'll discuss same topic from the level of atmosphere to the other spheres also. Take care, bye bye, and see you in the next lecture.